What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more trance, and we're back with more from the mighty Platipus label, which I mentioned before, one of my favorite 90s trance labels. It's a label that included styles like crossing different trance subgenres, which is to say a lot of tunes on the label you might call acid trance, some of them you would definitely call melodic or progressive trance, and the one we're going to listen to is a good example of that. But there's others that you could probably call hard trance. There's a lot of tracks where, they might incorporate all those flavors. I recently reacted to Now and Zen by Quiet Man. I feel like that's a tune that pretty much has all three of those things. It's progressive and melodic in parts. It's very acidic in one particular section. It has some drive to it, so you could call it hard trance, at least in certain moments. So, yeah, it's a very, I think, characteristic track on the label. In any case, we're going to listen to one of the most famous tracks from the label, although it is a remix. We're going to listen to Calling Your Name. Many people who went to trance parties in the 90s, especially, I think this is like 97, let me just make sure I have that right. And it's on volume 3, yes, it is late 97, it's a 2 LP. They released a number of these volumes. I think I used to have another one, but I was looking, the last little while since I've been doing reactions, and this is the only one that I can find for sure, so. But to be clear, this is maybe the best of all the compilations, I would say. But yeah, Libra presents Taylor. I want to make sure I have all these credits right. Okay, so Libra, according to Discogs, is Brian Transeau, presents Taylor, so, presumably this is someone who didn't quite, wasn't huge in the production world, but sort of, had someone help them make a tune, perhaps. But yeah, Taylor is listed as Miles Glenn Wooten, who's from LA. That's interesting, I did not know. He's from the US, specifically LA. And then the remix is by Granny. This is the Granny mix that we're going to listen to. And Granny was apparently a name for Paul Brogdon and Claudio Guasani. And Claudio Guasani, as you will know, because I talked about it in the other video, is also, whatchamacallit, he was in Union Jack at first, and then he became Terra Firma. So, a person who's all over this label, and in this case, the Granny alias is him plus Paul Brogdon. So, in any case, like I said, this is a really classic tune from the label and from 90s trance in general. I think the Granny mix is the best mix because it has a bit more oomph and drive than some of the other versions, including what, I don't know if it was called the club mix or if it's like the original mix, but yeah, the first one I heard, it's cool, it's, it's the classic track, but when I heard this Granny mix, once I got this compilation, I was very happy to have a version of it with a bit more drive and groove to it. So here we go. This is Libra presents Taylor, Calling Your Name on Platipus Volume 3, 1997? This isn't 77, that would be damn impressive. some tunes I feel like are very much in one camp or the other, but can't you hear him calling? Sort of natural drum rhythms. Tambourine maybe. I don't know if it is a 303 doing that bass line. I think it is, but either way, the bass line makes this version a bit oompier than most of the others. And those kind of like chopped up staccato vocal synths, in a way it's like very 90s, so it sort of tells you when this was made, and yet like, again, if you listen to Trance back then, it's very nostalgic hearing stuff like this. Definitely a sort of swirling, like an acid thread through everything. It's like an atmosphere piece. It's not like the most demand your attention trance tune ever, but it's good vibes the whole way. Makes me want to go say hi to the like 20-year-old me. that long, mellow intro. You could end a mix with it. This has a nice sort of floaty outro. You could obviously use it right in the middle of the mix and not necessarily include either of those parts. You could also soft mix in or out, meaning like when you fully line up the beats, right? Like when you're beat matching, that's like what I call like a hard mix, because you're doing it like, not hard as in difficulty, but hard as in like it's with the kick drums and everything there. So like, you got to be on point. A soft mix, ideally it's perfectly aligned so that, even if there's no like clear percussive rhythmic elements to tell you like where you are in the measure, the melodic moments and the sort of rollover of a bar to the next one will line up. But you can get away with a little bit more of the soft mix. Obviously, like if it's slightly out of sync, if there's no beats to really tell you that, it can sound close enough that most people would never even notice. So yeah, that kind of track, you can start a mix with it, you can hard mix in and out, you could soft mix in and out, or you could end a set with it. It's like not only a really sort of like artful tune, because again, it doesn't start like just a kick drum, like, oh, here you go DJs, here's a 64 just to get you to mix into the track. It starts as like artful tune, it ends as an artful tune, but it's like a perfect DJ tool. You could use it anywhere in the set. So yeah, it's just a classic tune. I really enjoy it. I think a lot of people, again, who went to parties, trance parties in the second half or maybe like last third of the 90s will definitely remember this one. It's a tune I remember hearing in the LA trance scene a number of times, which now like it's a bit interesting to me. I didn't realize that Taylor was someone who came from the LA scene. I don't remember that name, like I don't remember them playing. There were a lot of trance DJs I went and saw back in the day, like Huggy, Theo, Ganesh, a number of people like Thomas Michael. But ultimately, I don't remember, seeing Taylor at a number of events. Now, who knows? Maybe he did actually play at a number of events, and it was just I never happened to go to some of the ones that he was at. But yeah, it was an interesting thing to just learn that he's actually from LA. So, in any case, let me know what you think of the track. I will see you next time. Peace.